doing emergent curriculum work, that's just a big part of it, and it becomes a natural part of observing, I think. You're observing, and from observing, I don't know, I think I just naturally developed questions. Not always. Sometimes I'm like, I know why they're doing that. But sometimes I don't know why they're doing something, or what they're going to do next, or that sort of thing. Sometimes I want them to do something specific, so I try to set it up so that it works out that way. Often I'm finding right now I'm doing my learning stories a lot differently than I used to, so I tell the story, and that's it, and then I email it to the parents so they get to make meaning before I do. So that it feels more to them like they have room and something to offer. It doesn't have to be this great big thinking, but it usually is. So I find that sort of research, like being curious about what the parent has to offer about things, which I think you'll hear a lot about when we talk to Clive's mom later. Yeah, I think that really it's just become a part of the process of observing and documenting. And sitting and watching, I just start having questions. And then when I have questions, I want to find the answers to them, so I do what I need to do to help find those answers. Most of the time. I don't get to every question, but I think I get to a lot of them. I think a lot of it too is I'm wondering what the kids are trying to figure out. Not, oh, that's cute that they're playing, about trains, but why are they playing about trains? Or what is it about trains? Or is it even about trains? Or is it about the wheels moving? Or is it about, we both know about trains, so we're going to play trains? Or is it more of a social connection thing? That's always my big question, is figuring out where the kids are coming from and what the parents have to contribute.
That's great. Well, let's maybe have you start by, can you say what the term teacher researcher means to you?
I guess when I think of the word teacher researcher, I think of finding out more information about something in the role of a teacher. So it's maybe having some answers but needing more, or research to me, I think, is more about finding answers to questions. And using lots of different avenues for that, perhaps, like families and other teachers, and observing and reading and that sort of thing.
Great. Do you have an example of like one that kind of unfolded that you could talk about in a concise way?
Well, I have the violet and the shoes one. But I brought some other ones. The violet and the shoes one I think is pretty quick.
Yeah.
But we already used that for a different
That's
piece
okay.
of that, so I don't know.
Yeah, let's try it.
Okay.
Especially since you are really confident that's a quick one to do.
I think I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it's pretty quick.
So say, for instance, or right, here's an example or something like that.
For example, there's a little girl in my class named Violet, and we were noticing at the beginning of the year that she was, every time she found a pair of shoes lying on the floor, she would put them on her feet and walk around the room. And it was happening a lot, and eventually it moved beyond that, and she was starting to take shoes out of kids' cubbies and put them on, and kids were starting to get annoyed with that and saying, no. So we started coaching Violet about asking other kids if she could wear their shoes, and it was just this thing that she needed to do all the time, almost every day. She was wearing other people's shoes. And so we were kind of curious why. Why is she doing that? Is it that she's trying to make a connection with other kids? Is it that she sees these forms on the floor and knows where they go, so she has to, kind of like a puzzle, like, does she need to put it together? And so we asked her family about it, and they said she does it at home too all the time, and that they thought it was potentially about, wanting to connect with other people. And so we ended up doing some other things in the room to sort of support that. We played some games about a shoe game, whose shoes are these, and tried to encourage other kids to wear other people's shoes and that sort of thing. And now Violet's gotten really good about being able to ask other kids if she can wear their things. And it's moved beyond shoes, and it's now lunchbox and coat and backpack and everything that belongs to a kid. She'll embody all of their things and walk around, and she'll say hello everybody, kind of like she is, I'm Henry now, or I'm Liam now, kind of thing. So it's pretty interesting. Did that?
Yeah, that's great. And while you have that in front of you, let me come and we'll get I know you've given this to me first, but I've already sent it off to them, so we may need to get it again if you don't mind.
The JPEGs, right? I remember these didn't work very
Yeah,
well, so
did you
I
have
sent
the-
you different ones, I
Yeah.
thought. I probably have those somewhere.
Yeah, that's great. Well, let's try it